Hello. Welcome back to my channel. You are the one where we talk all things law of assumption to help with your manifesting game. And today we are talking about revising on the go. So working with your reality when things come in that are unfavorable, you can revise them in real time on the go and then just get on with your life. It actually is super easy, and that's what we're talking about today. So stick around. My name is Hedley Derenzie, and I am a qualified life coach and author specializing in the law of assumption as originally taught by the great American mystic Neville Goddard. It is the stories that we tell that create our reality. So if you want to change any part of your reality, then you have to know how to change the story first. And if you want to create the most amazing reality, it helps to know how to tell the most amazing stories. That's where these teachings can help, and that's why I am here. I want to help you to tell the most amazing stories you can possibly imagine for yourself. If you would like support with that, I am available for one-to-one coaching, and I also have a free 21-day Set Yourself Up with the Ultimate Self-Concept course. I am on Instagram. You will find all of those details in the box below this video, and let's just get into it. So today we are talking about how to revise on the go. As many of you know, I love revision. Oh, I love that word. I love that technique. It is so powerful because when you incorporate revision into your manifesting game, you will find things move quicker, they move easier. It just takes things to a whole other level. And the reason that is revision clears the block. So many of us are really good at envisioning the futures we want to experience. We're really good at living from the end. We know what we want. We know how to use the tones of reality to really make that vision real. And then things just don't show up. And then we start to doubt manifesting, or we start to doubt the techniques or the teachings or whatever, or we just get bored with it and we just move on to something else. The reason is simply because there's a dominant assumption running in opposition to what it is that we want and what we're working on creating. And that comes from the past. That comes from things that were set up before we were aware of these teachings, before we were consciously doing this stuff. Of course, you're always manifesting. Your whole reality is a manifestation of consciousness. If it's in your reality, it's there because it first existed in consciousness, first as an idea or a thought, and some of these things happen when we're not even aware of them, which is why we want to look at our reality and be in relationship with it so we can root out those assumptions that are causing realities we don't want to experience. And this is where revision is so helpful. Revision clears the path. It clears the blocks of those subconscious assumptions, many of them that were inherited by us when we were young, from the womb up until like ages of 7, 8, sometimes even into teenage years. And that's part of the setup. We were set up to look externally into the world based on our survival. And then part of the awakening, part of being reborn, is realizing that actually we are the ones causing our reality based on what we're doing in consciousness. The whole thing's a setup. The whole thing's set up to have an adventure. But when you awaken to that and you realize you are consciousness having a physical experience and that you can actually cause reality based on what you choose to do with your awareness, that's where things really start to get exciting, because you're no longer living Groundhog Day. You can actually be the one who's causing your reality, knowing that there is a bit of a lag time sometimes. So you can start telling a new story now, knowing that it'll show up in the now later down the track. That makes sense, because there is only now. Okay. I'm constantly revising on the go. I'm revising throughout the day. If something unfavorable comes into my reality, I'm not sitting around going, why did I create this? Because that question never gets you anywhere. What I'm doing is I'm going, oh wow, that's something that's not favorable. There must have been an assumption. What might the assumption be? It's pretty easy because you can just look at what assumption would have created that. And then I revise the scene, turn the assumption around, and I move on with my day. Because I'm explaining this, it sounds like it takes a lot longer, but when you get proficient with it and you're practicing it regularly, it's super fast. So I want to give you an example of something that happened recently. I was recently catching up with a new friend, and she also has a YouTube channel that she's just started. Her name is Lena Broughton. You can go across and show her some love. I'll put the details of her YouTube channel in the box below this video. But we were catching up for coffee recently, and as we sat down for coffee, we heard this bang and we went, oh, and we realized that the car in the car park had just hit the bike rack as she was reversing from the car park. So we both stood up and we both went over to see if she was okay. And the first thing that came out of her mouth when she got out of her car and see that she'd like ripped the bumper off the front of her car, the first thing she said was, oh my God, I did this exact same thing 3 years ago. The exact same thing. That was the first thing she said when she stepped out of the car, and we were like, are you all right? She's like, I did this exact same thing 3 years ago. And I'm thinking, of course you did. This doesn't come out of nowhere. I'm thinking compassionately, of course. This is not like a judgmental thing. I'm looking at her going, of course, because you're so powerful, because you are causing your reality. If something like that happens, it's so simple. You just revise yourself coming out of the car park and just going off and driving off on your way. Really easy. Now, it would have been great had she known this and she did this 3 years ago, but because she doesn't know this, she's in my movie, so I am doing this for her because this is now in my reality. So the first thing I did when I had a little time and space was I saw her reversing perfectly out of the car park, smoothly, calmly, no issues at all, and she just drove off. So how did this get set up? Because that happened 3 years ago. How on earth did that suddenly happen now, and why now? Because what happened is when we don't revise 3D events, they become memories, and those memories remain active. Remember, the 3D event is finished, it's over, it's gone, can never be lived again. The 3D event is dead. It's over, it's finished. But what is not dead and over and finished is the memory. The memory remains very much alive, but because she just moves on with her life and everything just continues on, that memory just gets filed away. So it's not in the conscious mind, but it's still there and it's still active. Now what happened is she parks the car there, she opens the door, she sees the bike rack. And what that does, and it would have done this unconsciously, but it triggered the memory or the image of what had happened 3 years ago. Now, she wouldn't have been aware of this. This would have been happening beneath the surface. She would have got out of the car. She would have seen the bike rack. Oh, I remember that bike rack. I banged into that 3 years ago. Now, this is all happening below the surface. Seeing the bike rack based on where she parked would have triggered and activated the memory that is still very much alive, so that when she came back into the car and went into reverse, what do you think happened? The exact same thing that happened 3 years ago. And what I found so fascinating about this was that was the first thing that came out of her mouth when she stepped out of the car. That memory was front and center. So even though she probably hadn't thought about that for 3 years, upon seeing that bike rack, that would have triggered that memory, and then bang, she is replaying that memory all over again. And that's what you don't have to do. You do not have to be replaying past events if they are not favorable and you don't want to be experiencing them again. And the way not to is to revise them on the go. So when something shows up that is unfavorable, you're like, okay, sure, that's in my reality now. I don't really like it, but it's in my reality, so I'm going to address it. And I'm going to address it by revising it using my imagination. What would I like to have happened instead? What would be the ideal situation to have happened in this situation? Close your eyes, take a few moments, you envision it until you've got it and you can feel it that that's what happened. What you're doing is you're deleting the memory from it so that you never have to show up to that reality ever again. You still have to show up to your present reality, so you still got to take your car into repair or do whatever it is, but you can do it from a place of that memory is no longer. That event is no longer. That's not happening again, and I know it because I've revised it, and I know I'm the cause of my reality based on what I'm doing in consciousness, and because I've revised it, it's gone, it's finished, it's deleted. I am now able to have a completely new experience moving forward because I've done the work. And that's how this works. So I wanted to share that example with you because it's super, super easy, and it's also fun to revise on the go because you realize, oh wow, that's in my reality, but it doesn't ever have to be in my reality again. You are free to create your reality from here on. Yes, you might have some things that are unfavorable that catch up with you from things that we've left unrevised. You know, gosh, we're dealing with the infinite number of things that have happened. But it's okay because now you know how this works and you can revise from here on. So anything that happens throughout your day that you don't like, it's cool. Just use it as an opportunity to revise something that you didn't realize was in consciousness. Change it to how you would like it to have played out, imagine it, envision it until you can feel that, yes, that's what happened, and then get on with your day. It's super easy. It's just so easy and it's fast. You can do this on the run. I use it all the time and it's so helpful and it feels better as well. And it just means that you're deleting those memories as they come up. And that way you're just cleaning up your consciousness as you go throughout the day, so you're not carrying them over into that next 24-hour cycle. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, just let me know, write them in the box below this video. If you'd like any assistance with anything I've talked about, you know where to find me. And what else? Please remember, you are the amazing creators of your reality. You are the superstar of your show. You are the producer, the writer, the director, and the actor in your movie. What you assume to be true will be so. So assume the best for you. Assume the best for everyone in your movie too, and you will have an amazing life. And this is my wish, my vision, and my prayer for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your beautiful, amazing comments. I love them. And I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.